Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the third session of dealing with the poem of Sri Kuempu, Heaven If You Are Not Here on Earth. So now we all of us have knew the idea or the concept introduced by the poet here. And as title says, it is here the poet is going to prove with his own description of his own situations where he creates the earth itself is in heaven. You have both in your life, hell and heaven. And it's you who have to make your life as a heaven or hell. If you want to make it a hell, yes, you can. Okay, if you forget your responsibilities, if you behave in a different manner, and if you don't have interest and hard work in your life, I don't think you will be, having a happy life as such. It is nothing but if one's life is happy, then it is nothing but heaven. And if one's life is full of sorrows, difficulties, or grief, then you can call that life as a hell here, isn't it? So that's why now coming to the poem where we were reading and explaining the second stanza here, and we have explained and studied the two lines, the first two lines of second stanza here. While this roaring stream rushes past, rolling surf at the edge of waves. And this, a scene or an activity of nature itself gives us a heavenly sight here, a heavenly feeling here. The picture where he created here in these two lines gives us a pleasure when you see the natural phenomenal activities due to the natural process here. The tender sun rays falling, and the tender sun rays, imagine the color and the picture when it is young, when it is yet to rise. So there will be different colors. There will be minimum seven colors in it, excuse me. So that scene or picture of colors, when it falls on this effect, so then itself is a heaven, he says. Then the tender sunshine leans on verdant gardens, and then the gentle sun make this earth heaven. See the exclamation here. It is the tone is touching with the description of these natural things. The tender sunshine leans on verdant gardens. Various different types of gardens. Various types of gardens. Rice, maize, trees, coconut plantations, and the forest, and the hills and the downs, lakes, rivers. So it creates different types of very good looking pictures, sceneries with the natural effects here. The routine change or activity of nature like this will create heaven on earth, he says. The tender sunshine leans on different types of gardens, fields, plantations, grows, so it creates a heaven-like atmosphere there. And then the gentle sun make this earth heaven. Then this gentle, colorful, quiet and calm, beautiful sun with its effects on the earth make this earth as heaven. So what else you need rather than these things? When nature and its process combines with the earth on earthly things that have been created here, gardens, fields, whatever, so it itself is a heaven according to the poet Kuempu here. When you feel happy at looking at some particular picture means it is a very good picture then, isn't it? It fulfills the desire of your heart or soul here, and it makes you feel happy, interested to watch and glance at the things due to various processes taken by nature here. So this itself is a heaven, says Kuempu in this poem. Yes, don't you feel the pleasant picture created by this natural process is a heaven? Didn't you enjoy your moments with the company of nature like this? Didn't you feel happy looking at the picture created by the poet? We plan so many trips and tours in order to enjoy or capture such things. But when you imagine, when you physically enjoy, experience these sort of things, I don't think you will be, in search of heaven rather than this. Okay, now last stanza here. So let's read out the second stanza once again. While this roaring stream rushes fast, rolling surf at the edge of waves, the tender sunshine leans on verdant gardens. And then the gentle sun make this earth heaven. Yes, tender sunshine itself as an interesting picture, isn't it? And these different colors of sun in the early morning, when it falls on different types of fields all over on earth, that itself a heaven. Heavenly, that itself gives us a heavenly picture, isn't it? Then what else you need? Where else you search for the heaven then? Why you are wasting your time in search of heaven somewhere where it is not at all there? Yes, so coming to third stanza here. In the splendor of harvest and of moonlight, heaven lies all over. splendor of harvest. Imagine harvest. It's a season where the farmers harvest their crop and of moonlight. Moonlight, it's really very rarest situations that we get to enjoy this thing, because today's lifestyle has become mechanical, that so mechanical, more mechanical, that the man won't find time to enjoy these things. He never ever think of experiencing the splendor of harvesting season. And he never find time to spend with the moonlight. So these comparisons with such symbols or images, he beautifies this earth and man's life itself. They are itself the heavens. Imagine what sort of thing you will get to know about harvesting season. It is quite a good looking picture during moonlight. If you go to your field where your crop got ripened at the time of cutting and collecting your crop, the final process of farming, and the fragrance and the smell of the crop when it is ripened or become to harvest, the smell is delicious. It smells quite good. If it is for example, mango, and it is almost a very sweet smell of mango nearby tree. And if it is a jackfruit, if it is ripened, if you go nearby that particular tree, the smell of jackfruit is spread all over there, around the tree. In the same way, if you go to a field where you have grown different types of crops, if it is a rice, and it will be a different smell. If it is a maize, it will be a different smell there. If it is a ragi, it will be a different smell. And if it is a jowar, it will be a different smell. So all sorts of crops have their own fragrant smells. And during harvest, moonlight, you enjoy the calm, cool light of moon, the tender, cool rays of the moon falling during the night. And if you sit and observe calmly at this moonlight, really it gives you immense pleasure. Yes. And if you try to eat in the moonlight, so I think this is the great experience that you get to know about it. So the splendor of harvest and the moonlight itself are the grand pictures, situations you can enjoy your life and it makes you happy, and this is what a poet says is a heaven here. If you don't feel happy, if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't enjoy the situation, do you call that as a heaven? No, never. So that is why the climate, the weather, the situation, the season, the crop, and many other natural processes, if they enlighten you with happiness, with cool and calmness, with peace of mind, and makes you enjoy, so that itself is a heaven, says Kuempu here. In the splendor of harvest and of moonlight, heaven lies all over. So it spreads, it lies. The heaven, where is the heaven? In the splendor of harvest and of moonlight. It's there. The heavenliness that you feel, experience when you accompany these things in your life. And imbibing and spilling the song of nectar. Imbibing and spilling. Listen. The song of nectar, he says. Sorry, it's E. The poet imbibes, the nature imbibes and spills the song of nectar on earth. If you think that in your life, if you imbibe or spill the song of nectar in your life, that your life will become a heaven. That is a heaven. If you spread, if you have the quality of happiness or self-contentedness, or if you feel merry, joyous in your life, that itself is a nectar. If your life is filled with the songs of nectars, then you think that it is a heaven. Your life is in heaven. You are in heaven. Okay. Have the song of nectar in you. Feel happy. Enjoy. Okay. Have a peace of mind. Have calmness, quietness, and try to observe it and try to grasp it. And you feel that itself is a song of nectar, a song of happiness, and it is a heaven. Imbibing and spilling the song of nectar, the poet does create heaven on earth. How did the poet create heaven on earth? Imbibing and spilling the song of nectar, the poet creates heaven on earth. So where is the heaven? It's on earth. Yes, where is the heaven? It's on earth. And who has to make the heaven? It is we, the human beings. It is we, the human beings. Okay, who is responsible in creating heaven? Okay, it is we. Yes. That is why they say, one's life is what one makes out of it. If you want to make your life as heaven, then listen and do according to the poet's advice in this poem. If you want to be in hell, do whatever you like, which is harm, which is betrayal, which is a robbery, a murder, or a crime, whatever. So then automatically you will be taken to hell there. So that is why whatever good thing that you do will give you something in your life, will make you feel satisfied, and will help you also to achieve something extraordinary in your life. So that is why people say, what did they say? See, there is one saying in Kannada, Alta alta roga, harta harta raga. If you keep practicing singing, one or the other day you are going to become a good singer. You can sing fluent songs which can entertain your audience. But if we keep on crying that I can't do anything in life, every day if you keep on crying and crying, what will happen? Sooner, some or the other disease will accompany you, will acquire, and it will target you, and you will become ill then. So you will become a diseased person then. So automatically the disease will come to you and make you a patient. So that is what the meaning here. Okay, Alta Alta Roga, Harta Harta Raga. So if you feel like that, so the heaven is in your life. If you do, feel, see, whatever, accordingly, in as just, naturally, then automatically you will be attaining the heaven in your life. Otherwise, so surely you will be creating a hell in your life as such. So these are the concepts brought out in this poem by our poet Sri Kuempu here. Okay, as I said in my previous classes, with lots of examples and writing the different concepts dealing with our poem here, I think will make you enough, will make you understand or know and what exactly the poet is telling in his poem. Heaven, if you are not here on earth, where else you be? Where? Nowhere. If that is not there on earth, so you won't find it anyway. So, if at all you feel that heaven is there on earth or in your life, or you can get into the life of heaven, that you must make, you must work hard, you must perform your behavior in a normal positive way so that it cannot be a disturbance, harm to anything on earth, maybe a living or a non-living thing. So that should be your responsibility, and you have to follow that, and then only you will have a good weather or a climate and an atmosphere or possibility to create or to make your life as heaven here. And you can see the heaven there itself, not anywhere in the sky or up above the earth. You will never find, and there is no separate a physical entity as heaven on earth or in our universe. Okay, so you should take along with the earth here universe. So actually, or with the scientific truth, our scientists never ever discovered any other new planet or a thing called heaven in universe. No. It's only in the imaginary stories of our grannies, grandpa or grandmothers who wanted to pacify us, who wanted to calm down when a child is crying. Isn't it? So this is what these entities here. Okay, in universe, you don't have heaven. Yes, a physical heaven here. And on earth, you don't have a separate space as all the planets have here, like earth or sun, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, whatever planet, they have their own shape and they have their own mass and character and values. But such a physical entity, it is not there. Which one? Heaven. So keep these things in mind. A poet is not a scientist here. A poet here is full of common sense. Here he believes in scientific truth. He believes in existentialism. He believes in reality. He believes materialism here. Not anything like fictional or what? Imaginary or dream. No, dreams like that. No, never. He never support or encourage such understanding about these concepts here. Yes. Okay, see, it is a very important a poem where every student has to opt. Means select for writing the answers. You must take it and attempt it in annual examination. See, it is a short poem of 12 plus 2, 2 plus 12, a couplet followed by 3 quatrains, and you feel it easy and you can include the textual part of this poem. Means you can quote lines from the poem to support your answer in the examination here. And if you quote the text according to the question, and if you fulfill the theme and need of the question there as your answer, I think there is 100% chance of scoring 4 out of 4 here. 4-mark question. So you have 8 questions of 4 marks here. So it's almost 8 fours of 32 marks, isn't it? 32 marks, and this is the area where many people will lose marks. Why? The teacher is ready with all the implements and weapons to cut your marks here in this section. Why? Because it is a 80 to 100 mark answer question where you need to work on the correct meaning of the sentences and all the answers, meaningful answer here, where it should be to the question and according to the text here. The sequence and the chronology of events in your answer must follow the text, and it should contain quotes also and support the purpose of the poem here, but it should not be out of your topic. So we check out spelling mistakes in this part, grammatical mistakes in this part, ambiguity in this part, influence of mother tongues in this part, the chronology or the sequence of the events from the textbook. So, and whether you have followed all the instructions written on the question paper. Limit of words. All these points are considered, and on the basis of the number of mistakes that you have committed here in a 4-mark question where you might have answered 100 words, you think that your answer is of 100 words, and there he exercise or use these tools. Handwriting also becomes a matter here or important here. Why? Because the evaluator has to read your answer. So it should be readable and legible. Each and every letter in the words and the sentences that you have written must be legible. So, handwriting is also given importance here. If you just scribble as you like, and if other people won't make it or can't read it, so I think you fail to achieve this. Whatever your answer may be, if it is readable, if it is clear and legible, then only you will get marks. Otherwise, the evaluator may strike off like this and he may award 0 mark for that. So keep this in mind. Okay, so now students will see the comprehension part of this poem here. Okay, page number 93, comprehension 2 here. Describe the beauty in nature that makes the earth a heavenly place. Yes. It is the second and third stanzas that will help you in filtering the points and the ideas from these 2 stanzas and you have to mold and shape those, that information in both these stanzas and should write the answer here. What is the question? Describe the beauty in nature that makes the earth a heavenly place. Okay, that is one. Second question. Why does the poet feel that earth is more beautiful than heaven? So the same things, same content in the poem, but we don't have hundreds of lines to write different answer, and even the question is also somewhat giving the same meaning here. Earth as heaven, and earth is more beautiful than heaven. Only thing is, in heaven, you don't think you will have a heaven there and you can enjoy the things like on earth here. So earth is more beautiful than heaven here. Why? Because it is real. Earth is real. Means it is truth. It is just. It is there. And physically you can look at it. It has a size. It has its own picture, its own color, its own duty, its own value, and there is a place for it in the universe. The scientists have discovered that. And if you ask anybody, they can show you the position in our planetary system where the earth is located, where it will appear to be functioning in the solar system. And everybody knows that the earth has its own shape. It has its own a shape, isn't it? Space, and everybody can have a look at earth here. But where is heaven? Nowhere. If you search on earth and in sky, you won't find it anywhere. So, what is real is going to help us. What is practical is we can going to think that it is right or it is useful. What is fact or scientific fact? It is truth once again. So that is why we believe if anybody say earth is there, and if anybody says heaven is there on earth or in the sky, I don't think we can support that kind of understanding here. Isn't it? Sometimes a 6-mark question may also be asked on this poem. Okay, be careful that, so you have to include the whole content or all the points written by Kuempu in this poem, and you have to twist and turn these images, metaphors, where he compares to what, and then you have to mold your answer to the question. Okay, you should not write the complete theme or summary of the poem beginning from it. No. You have to begin your answer to the question that is asked in the examination. So be careful about this. What board expects you? The board expects from you is a textual answer, not the answer of you, or maybe your answer is made good or right than the author, but we don't want. We want what the author as said in his prescribed work or literature here, form of literature here. So that is why, so I suggest my students, and I repeat again and again, many a times, so about this. What? Answer must be to the question, not to the lesson or poem that we are going to read. Okay. Is there any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can also write it down. Right now, when you are going to watch this lecture, write down the difficulties or the things that you have not followed in the explanation and send them to me, where you have a choice in your mobile. Okay. So then the third comprehension here, how does the poet explain the illusion of heaven in this poem? See, you may not find the direct lines or words in this poem to answer this question. So as I have talked and given you much explanation, more explanation on this poem, because see, such a 14 lines, 16 lines of poem, to complete this poem, 16 lined poem, we have almost taken 3 periods, 3 sessions altogether. Why? Because I am elaborative, because I have given you extensive examples here, number of examples, and taken those examples and related with the author's quote or the poem here, and give you the explanation for this. I don't think you can read other analysis of this poem as well, because they may change, they may go out of text. That's why in the beginning I said, if you get heaven in your mind, you start behaving that everything is known to you. We don't want any general discussions or answers to be written in the exams here. So I want my students to include the text from the poem and support or use that to answer the question prescribed on this unit here. Okay, how does the poet explain the illusion of heaven in this poem? It's illusions, it's somewhat illusion, dreamy, and what it is created, lie, and it is a superstitious and unreality, a reason of unreality, and one cannot create or one cannot discover heaven in the solar system or in our universe as such. And by this we are going to complete the poem of Mr. Kuvempu, translated by Dr. C. Nagarna today. Yes, and every one of us thank to these great writers of Kannada for giving us such a wonderful poem, which is even simple and know the truth about heaven here. The very concept is somewhat confusing with the different notions, beliefs in our society, and yet they have cleared all of our such doubts through this particular poem here after reading this poem, I think my students will search, will never search in any map or globe or universe for heaven. So you have to try, struggle to make your life as heaven on earth. So heaven is there in everybody's life. Heaven is there on earth. Heaven is there in nature. Isn't it? So that's what the ultimate thing we have. I think it is time for us to close or end the class here. Okay, thank you everybody.